Hello and welcome to the Management Channel. We're going to talk about production control in this section. And our objectives here are to define production and define the terms used to describe production. We're going to look at the concepts of productivity and quality. We're going to try to gain some understanding of operations and production strategies, systems, and processes. A little bit insight into operations management methods, how to use control procedures to control production, and learn of some of the operation control tools. So, define production is the transformation, as we said before, of inputs into outputs. Productivity is a relationship between the total amount of goods or services being produced and the resources needed to produce them. So it's basically productivity equals outputs divided by inputs. Production quality is how well a product does for what it's intended to do, or how closely it satisfies the specifications for which it was built. Continuous improvement is concentrating constantly on improving processes, product quality, and productivity throughout the organization. Deming had a flow diagram for improving product quality. It starts with the suppliers of materials and equipment. You receive and test them. You test the processes, the machines, and the methods. You look at the production assembly and inspect that. Then there's distribution, goes to the consumers. You do consumer research to find out how they felt the product satisfied their demand or need. And if not, you'd either design and redesign another session. So, in production quality, there's quality circles, which are a small group of workers that meet to discuss quality assurance of a particular product or process and communicate solutions for problems to management. Automation is the replacement of human effort by electromechanical devices, or, as we know it, robotics. So the quality circle problem-solving process is as follows. And I'm going to leave this for you with a moment so that you can read through it. I'm not going to read them all. Pause if needed. Operations management is the performance of managerial activities that involve selecting, designing, operating, controlling, and of course updating production systems. So you can see from the chart below, it's periodic for selecting, designing, and updating, and continuous improvement for operating and controlling. Operations management conveys three key notions. One, it involves managers, people who get things done by working with or through other people. It takes place within the context of objectives and policies that drive the organization's strategic plans. And the criteria for judging the action taken as a result of operations management are standards for efficiency and effectiveness. Effectiveness, of course, is the degree to which managers attain the organizational objectives by doing the right thing. Efficiency is the degree to which organizational resources are used to contribute to productivity by using the resources effectively or doing things right. Capacity strategy is a plan of action aimed at providing the organization with the right facilities to produce the needed output at the right time to meet customer demand. It's a 5-step process. 1, you measure the capacity of your currently available facilities. You estimate any future capacity needs based on demand forecasts from your customers. You compare the future capacity and needs and available capacity to determine if you must increase or decrease capacity. And identify ways to accommodate long-range capacity changes by either expansion or reduction. And finally, select the best alternative after you do the evaluation. Location strategy, as we've mentioned before in a previous session, is a plan of action that provides the organization and a competitive location for its HQ, manufacturing, services, and distribution activities. The factors to consider are the nearness to the market and the distribution centers, the nearness to your vendors or suppliers and your resources or raw materials, whatever government regulations might prohibit or inhibit your ability to produce in that area. What is the quality and quantity of labor pools? Do you have the skilled talent that you need? What is the existence of present utilities and services that you might need? What are the taxes and financial requirements? Are there any existing and potential transportation, or does that provide problems for shipping? And what's the environmental attractiveness of the area? Product strategy is a plan of action outlining which goods and services an organization will produce and market. Process strategy is a plan of action outlining the means and methods an organization will use to transform those resources into goods and services. And there are three main types. Continuous process, which is product-oriented, high-volume, low-variety process. For example, potato chips, beer, petroleum. Repetitive process, for product-oriented that uses modules to produce items in larger lots, like an assembly line for cars or appliances. And job shop, used to produce small lots of customer design products, high variety, low volume, such as furniture, weapons, and etc. A layout strategy is a plan of action outlining the location and flow of all your organizational resources around, into, and within the production and service facility. Layout is the overall arrangement of your equipment, your work area, service area, and storage areas. Three main types: product layout, which is high production volume, highly specialized equipment, and narrow employee skills. Process layout is a pattern that groups similar types of equipment for production. And fixed position layout is a product is stationary while resources flow. Example, like a shipbuilding yard, a refinery, a coal mine. So here we see the basic three process layouts, and I will leave this for you for a moment to study. Pause if you need to. In operations management, human resources strategy is another segment. It's an operational plan to use the organization's human resources effectively and efficiently while maintaining or improving the quality of their work life. There are four primary tools. 1. The labor force planning. The primary focus. It's an operational plan for hiring the right employees for a job and training them to be productive. There's job design. It's an operational plan that determines who's going to do a specific job, how, and where that job will be done. And work methods analysis. This is an operational tool used to improve productivity and mainly also to ensure the safety of workers. And work measurement methods. These are operational tools used to establish labor standards and measure productivity. Operations control is ensuring operations activities are carried out as planned. Just-in-time inventory control is a lean technique for reducing inventories to a minimum by arranging production to meet the demand for the customer, making it as needed, and not building a stockpile. Just-in-time characteristics are the closeness of suppliers, high-quality materials purchased. You can't make a quality product if you don't have quality raw materials. Well-organized receiving and handling of materials to include inspection to make sure those materials meet your specifications. Strong management commitment. Now, we also need maintenance control aimed at keeping the organization's facility and equipment functioning at proper levels, and there's two stages. Preventive maintenance, which is adjusting, lubing, cleaning, and maintaining the equipment to prevent a breakdown or outage. And I'm going to add predictive maintenance using history to determine wear and tear and when to replace parts. Pure breakdown maintenance is repairing after the malfunction or after the breakdown, and this is more costly. Cost control is keeping the organizational costs at plan levels. There are 4 stages: establishing standard or planned cost amounts, measuring the actual costs that you incurred, comparing your planned costs to the costs that are actually happening, and making changes to try to reduce actual costs so that you meet the planned cost goals. There's what's called a ratio analysis control, the process of generating information that summarizes the financial position through calculation of ratios based on financial measures. 4 basic categories: profitability ratios, liquidity ratios, activity ratios, and leverage ratios. I'm going to leave this chart up here for you to read. It gives you an example, a calculation method, and the interpretation of the detail. Please feel free to pause. So, big part of operations control is quality control or inspection. You inspect at the supplier's facility to make sure they have a good quality process. You inspect the product coming in to ensure quality. You do an in-process inspection to avoid any cost lost or waste. And you do a final inspection prior to it going out the door to delivery to your customer. The management control is management by exception only, allows only significant deviations between the planned and actual performance, and it needs to be brought to the manager's attention. Subordinates handle all routine tasks. Management by objectives is a specialized set of objectives and action plans with itemized goals and rewards for managers to abide by. We have what's called a break-even analysis. This is the process of generating information that summarizes levels of production with your profitability. It determines when your profit equals your total cost, and it's with the following formula below. FC is your fixed costs, V is your variable costs, P is your profit. So your fixed costs divided by your profit minus the variable costs gives you your break-even analysis. Should you increase capacity? A standard approach to choosing among alternative processes or equipment is to whether to invest or not. The purpose is to determine the point where the units produced and sold will equal where you will start making profit on the process and or equipment. The actual purpose is to determine the point where the units produced and sold illustrate the point where total revenue and total cost are equal, or where the breaking even point is. So here's a chart showing you that the revenue and cost of how much is coming in and profit realized starts to take place. You'll notice that at 180,000 or produced of 15,000 parts is where they break even, or 14,800 copies produced and sold. So a break-even demand is the purchase cost of the purchase or equipment divided by the price per unit minus the cost per unit. Or it could be the total fixed cost of process and equipment divided by the unit price to customer minus the variable cost per unit. I'm going to recommend, if you're creating a break-even analysis, you use the top formula. So let's take a look at an example. Suppose you want to purchase a new computer that will cost you $5,000. And it's going to be used to process written orders from customers who's going to pay you $25 each for the service. The cost of your labor and electricity and the form used to place the order is $5 per customer. So how many customers will we need to serve to permit the total revenue to break even with our costs? Again, we're looking at these formulas. Here, total fixed cost of processor equipment is $5,000 divided by $25 is which the customer is going to pay you minus the $5 that it costs you, leaving you $20. So you need 250 customers to break even. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and please continue to search and learn more with us. Thank you and have a great day.